You've probably seen plenty of tractors. They work the fields, feed the world, and sometimes they feed the American drive spirit that's alive in all of us.
It's got 2,300 horsepower, about 38 to 4,000 RPMs. It's a quick, fast rush.
Does it kind of feel like you're sitting on a rocket or something like that?
Yeah, that's to say the least. It was a whole different ballgame.
It's kind of like flying on land, too.
Flying on land, that's a good way to put it.
And this is definitely not your grandpa's tractor.
So what happens when you put a P51 engine on a tractor? Well, we're about to find out together.
There is something about the peace you find on a quiet country road. You drive by and wonder, what are the people inside like? What drives them?
The best part about farming is everything is interesting. Every day is different.
Randy Dornbush has been farming all his life. When he's not in the fields, he's working on bringing old tractors back to life. You could say it's a passion.
How'd you learn how to refurbish, bring these old tractors back to life?
Well, I started off in high school, and from then on, self-taught with a lot of different people.
So a lot of mentors along the way for you.
Yes, that's important to have people you can count on for information.
But even with all this, he was searching for something more, something he could do with his sons, something with a little more adrenaline. So now together, they combine their love of motorsports with his love of tractors. And this is what he's got.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing this for a long, long time. Never did it, never got serious. I've got two boys that are 24 and 22. They showed interest in it. We've done several motorsports stuff, and here we are, tractor pulling.
Flying down the track with the help of this.
It's got 2,300 horsepower, about 38 to 4,000 RPMs. It's a quick, fast rush.
Does it kind of feel like you're sitting on a rocket or something like that?
Yeah, that's to say the least. It was a whole different ballgame.
So your first time on it, what were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Well, you're sitting pretty close to the engine, and it's noisy. 12-cylinder Allison aircraft engine that they had in airplanes, and it was an experience.
It's kind of like flying on land, too.
Flying on land, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, you don't really understand the horsepower that it has until you crack the throttle and front end starts to come up a little bit, and you're like, whoa, this is the real deal.
Do you ever have that feeling like you might lose control of this thing?
Yeah, got about halfway down the track on the first pass, and it started hopping real bad, and you don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, you're strapped in so tight, you don't know what's gonna happen, you don't know if you're gonna flip, you don't know, but it came out of it. But other than that, it's just another machine.
Yeah, sure it is. Our buddy Jay Wolf, who introduces us, gives us a look from the inside.
So do you ever find yourself saying, oh crap, and both feet go on the brakes as hard as you can?
Yeah, whenever it really started hopping, I mean, I still had the throttle all the way forward, and I was like, oh no, and I slammed both feet on the brakes. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Pulled the throttle back, and then I got back into it, took my feet off the brakes, and it all played out. But yeah, once something starts going wrong, your first reaction is to stop.
So how does this thing work?
This here is your gear selectors. So you have first, second, and then you have third and fourth. Usually we pull in third or fourth, it depends on the track. So usually a car, your gas pedals down here, well, these are actually both brakes, and that's what you steer with when your front end goes up in the air. This here is your throttle, and to start it, you got to engage both of your megs, then you have to wind up the starter, and you let it wind up for about 10 seconds, then you can engage the starter, and it'll turn the motor over.
His brother keeps it purring like a, well, yeah, there's no purring here. This is no kitten, just plain power.
Austin Dornbush, he is, we call him the crew chief, because he knows about everything on this motor. He knows all the maintenance, everything to do.
Together, father and sons are living their dream, competing to some extent against others, but mostly themselves.
Mostly the fun of doing it. You know, I don't believe we'll chase the point system and trying to win. I think the winning part is satisfaction. Is at the end of the day, I think that's the part of winning. Going out, having fun.
And getting to spend time with your sons.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's fun to be competitive, but at the end of the day, it's a dream we've all had, just something we've all wanted to do, and to do it with my family is it's just awesome.
So now you know, just because something seems so quiet and peaceful on the outside, looks and sounds of American Drive on the inside tell a totally different story. Check out more of our stories on both our YouTube channel and podcast, more behind the scenes, by the way, on the podcast. We hope you subscribe, share with a friend, check out more photos on our Metivier Media Facebook page. Help us keep telling stories of everyday people doing cool stuff, getting to the heart of the story. I'm Gary Metivier.